there, my name is Kelly Dale, and this is your Must Know Monday for Monday, April the 23rd. So over the next few weeks, I'm going to be starting a new series of Must Know Mondays on how to use these brand new components from the Beadsmith Company called center line components. And each week the components change and the counts change and the way you do them change. So this week I'm going to start out with the smallest version of their center line. It is a small Slender metal piece, and it has an open slit through the center that is basically big enough to fit a size 11 Delica bead. Now this will make a very dainty necklace, and to me this is going to be really good for the person who is a minimalist, meaning that they wear very minimal amounts. So they like very small things, very petite things, and this is also going to be for the younger woman or girl in your life who may not be into all of your bead work but may really like this piece because it's not over the top beads. So basically, to do this today, all I'm using is a size 10 needle with a little bit of thread. This project takes minimal amount of thread. The only other thing I'm going to be using for the actual piece itself is some size 11 Delicas. Now this is a really good stash buster because literally it only uses 22 size 11 Delica beads. So, you know, you can mix your colors, whatever you want to do. Besides that, to actually make the finished chain, I'm going to be using some actual really tiny chain, some 4mm jump rings, and a lobster claw. So let's go ahead and let me show you how to use this really fun new center line component. So here's the component that I'm going to show you how to use today. This is an 8 by 35mm component. It has 4 holes. It has 2 larger holes in the corner and a smaller hole in each side here. Now the smaller holes allow you to stitch through those holes. This opening allows you to be able to put size 11 Delicas or any size bead that will fit into that little slit. I found that the slit will safely hold 22 size 11 Delica beads. So here is one that I actually made to go with a shirt that I have that is these 3 colors. And then if you're not someone who likes weird patterns, this is just one solid color in those components. And you can see it makes a really dainty, simple necklace. So I'm going to be using I've already threaded my beads on. I did a random pattern using a turquoise, a pink, and a lime green size 11 Delica bead. Okay, now although I've already got these threaded on because I wanted you to see these, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my needle or my thread and I'm going to go down through the hole on the left of my component. If you're left-handed, you can go through the right hole, completely up to you. But basically, I want my tail thread to be on the back and my working thread to be on the front. So I have my 22 beads lined up here, and this is really easy to use. You can see they fit perfectly in that little slap. And now comes the quote-unquote hard part. You take your needle and go down through the slit or the little hole on the right. And when you do that and pull it through, all your beads will sit into place. If you feel like you want to change anything at this point, it's a good time to do that. But I'm going to take my needle and I'm going to stick it up through the opening of the frame. So this is from the back. I'm sticking up through the opening of the frame, and then I'm going to go through those beads again, straight through them. And if you can't get all of them at one time, that's no biggie. Okay, and then I'm just pulling that thread straight up. What happened is by coming up through the frame, you can see now I have a thread on the back and a thread on the front here. So now I'm actually going to take my needle and I'm going to stick it through the frame, and I'm going to come up through that back hole again. So now that gives me a thread on the back hole top and a thread on the front hole. And at this point, I'm just going to go through these beads again. Now, the thread I'm using is a 1G thread, and this is actually the only one out of all the components that I found that you can actually use the 1G thread with. I tried to use it on some of the other components, and it just didn't work out. Now, if it confuses you when you get to the other side about coming up through, you can also flip it over and go through the beads, you know, in this direction. It's completely up to you and what you want to do. So I've gone through my beads now. I'm getting it on the other side here. And now that I've come out on the other side, I'm going to take the tail thread that I had in my hand and the working thread, and I'm going to tie these two threads together in a few knots. Now, I personally do not put glue on the knot, but the beadsmith suggests to put you a little dab of glue on the knot. So what I actually do before I go ahead and trim this or do anything with it is I go up through the hole again, and then I just go through this one more time with my needle, just kind of reinforcing it and getting rid of the thread. This way I'm not actually cutting right there at that little knot that I made. So I'll go ahead and I'll get rid of this one, and then at this point I can go ahead and take my needle if I want to, and I can thread it onto the tail thread, and I can do the same thing on the other side, or with this little tail thread here. Let me get this threaded. There we go. And I can't do a whole lot with this one because it's so short, but I am going to thread it through and get rid of as much as I can of it. Now, like I said, you can put some glue on that knot, or you can do like I've done and just stitch through to get rid of your threads, so that now you have a really cute, just simple piece. Now, to make it into a necklace, it's really easy. I'm going to be using a 4mm jump ring, and I found that although you can use bigger jump rings, this hole accommodates the 4mm jump ring really well and is small enough to where it doesn't stand out in your design. So all I'm doing is I'm taking that jump ring and attaching it to the end link of a piece of chain here. Just using some fine chain. And then I'm going to open a jump ring here on this side, attach it, and it's a little, there we go. And then at that point, it's just a matter of attaching your clasp. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to attach a jump ring to this side, and then I'll attach my lobster claw to this side. So I hope you enjoyed learning to use this very easy and simple centerline component. The necklace turns out really cute. Let me see here if I can get, there we go. Just a really simple, really cute necklace. And the great thing is it's really adjustable because you can make it any size that you need for any person in your life. If you are brilliant enough, you could also do, if you had enough room, you could do the Morse code to actually come up with a fun little saying, but I don't think you would have too much room unless you want to write like one small word. And to find out how to do the Morse code in beads, you can actually just Google that online because there's lots of cool little resources for that. But next week, I'm going to show you how to make the next centerline component, which is a centerline link like this. It's a curved bar. It's a lot bigger, and I'm going to show you how and all the ins and outs of using those. We do have these little centerline components on my website, Off the Beaded Path beadstore.com, and they come in what's called RP, which is rhodium plated, GP, which is your gold plated, and RGP, which is your rose gold plated. All three are really cool, and if you actually purchase the rose gold one, we actually just got in some beautiful new rose gold colored chain, jump rings, and lobster claws that will work really, really well for this necklace. So again, you can find all of that at offthebeadedpathbeadstore.com. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you again next time. Bye-bye.